So, first off, nice to meet you. I'm Sangreiti. I'm actually new to the Seattle area, and I have been inspired to get more into politics. And I think what I'm going to do is start with the local level. I mean, there's a lot of great people who, talk about like the federal level or the big important stuff, but since I've recently moved here, I'm thinking like what better to get to know what's like happening outside my door. Um, I about half an hour ago I decided to just check out who the chief of police is and started making notes and decided why not just start a stream of it. Um, so I've started a kind of a doc, and what I'm going to go over is some of the stuff that I've found. So, Chief of Police is Sue Rahr. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Sorry about pronouncing things wrong. I'm gonna do it, and that's gonna be the last time I'm gonna apologize for it. If I get better information, I'll definitely change, but I'm just gonna do my best. So, what I'm seeing here in the Seattle Government Police about a section, so this is the official statement. So the chief began her, so she's been a law enforcement officer for 45 years, since 79, um, elected in 2005, retiring, so she took a break. Um, So in 2012, she was appointed executive director of the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission. Okay, so she was the XO on training people. Yeah, for about 9 years. So she has a lot of time, like actually training people up. So she's relatively well versed in the job because she wouldn't have done that for that long if she was, some bozo. Um, So it looks pretty impressive so far. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So she's got a lot of time studying the law. Excellent, excellent. So, um, in my little document, so I have a little link to that, and I've copy pasted all that, and kind of peeking ahead, what I did was I just Googled just news stories, and the first one that I found was this one, and it's dated on October 14th, 2024. So Seattle, nice. She admits she doesn't know everything. It's a point that she made. Excuse me. So I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'll try my best to mute myself when I can, but I will do my best. Okay, so the person who wrote this is Erica Barnett. So there's this interview. Okay, so that's her in her office. Um, so they sat down to talk about police recruitment and the soap and soda laws. What's going on there? Seattle Council's soap and soda banishment laws despite public outcry. So, Mayor Bruce Harrell signed into law two controversial ordinances. Stay out of areas of prostitution. Okay, soda does not involve the beverage. Okay. All right. So the stay out of areas of prostitution and intended to address concerns about public drug use and sex work. Um, so I guess here is where I'm going to start to kind of reveal my personal biases. I tend to have left wing biases. So when you see me talking about this, that's the kind of perspective I have. So if you have that, that's just kind of something to help you out to understand how I think. So, um, public drug use and sex work. I personally have a couple opinions about this. I personally believe that sex work needs to be not only decriminalized but legalized. Um, I'm going to talk about these two things in kind of two, separated contexts. Um, I think that anybody who has the legal autonomy, they're not under any, uh, they're not imprisoned. If somebody has full autonomy of themselves, they should be able to have sex with anybody that they want to consensually have sex with. And if that other party is a paying member, and that I believe is nothing that the government should be involved with, as long as everybody's consenting, everybody is an adult. Whether it's one or more people, I think that destigmatizing that will keep people safe. People who want to do sex work, regardless of gender, they need to be able to come to the police and disclose any number of crimes that they feel like they need to disclose. One of the major reasons why people who do sex work are victimized by any number of theoretical victimizers, the reason that they stay silent about crimes is because if they go to the police about something, whether it's, hey, this John that hired me has a dead body in the whatever trunk of his car. The police would be, thank you, gave me the license plate and the description. Also, turn around and put your hands behind your back. Like, what? Why would a sex worker ever try to go out of their way to improve their community by ratting out, people who are doing real, actual crimes and not just abstemiousness and prudish attitudes towards something that like has a lot of gray area about. I wouldn't say sex work is the best thing ever, but you know, these people shouldn't be living in conditions that are irrational. This is bullshit. Um, we need to bring sex workers out from under the table. Um, they need health care. Everybody needs health care, and these people need to be protected. And the people who don't want to be sex workers need to be allowed to do whatever else they want, and they need to be able to rat out anybody who's trying to keep them as a sex worker. It's it would be insane to try and arrest somebody who is trying to get away from their non-consensual pimp, and they get arrested too. Yeah, so these people need to have they need to get off the streets and into homes. This is bullshit. Um, and kind of cracking down on um, sex workers in the current like legal framework isn't gonna do anything other than hurt these people. After let's say that they get, you know, air quotes, what's coming to them. They get popped for being a prostitute. They go to jail. They lose time. They lose money. They lose access to whatever like day job they had if they did have a day job. They go from Walmart to pay for rent, and then they go to sex work to make sure their kid gets to eat and go to school. Now they're in jail. Cool. They don't have a way to get their kid to school, and now they don't have food on the table. Kid goes into fucking welfare. Um, into a home. That's not helping anybody. We need to get these people like all the help they need to like live their life. Um, Secondly, the drug users. Uh, we need to eliminate the reasons why people do drugs. There's no reason to do any of this if you're not gonna stop people from being drug users in the beginning. Um, there's a lot of drug users who have those drugs impact their life in a way that allows them to live their day-to-day activities. I mean, imagine how many people do cocaine and have like office jobs. So there's drug use that you can live your life through, despite the the adverse effects that those drugs give you. And then there's drugs that will make you unable to fulfill your requirements and your obligations to live your life. And if you're living a life, I mean, living life. I'm gonna backtrack. The important part is that anybody who does do drugs, whether they have it ruin their life or not, we need to get these people like back on track. Just to be like self-sustaining. People have if people should have the ability to take care of themselves. And if they don't have the ability to take care of themselves, we need to help them to that point. We can't let these people fall through the cracks. I mean, getting these people off the street is only cleaning up the consequences of the reason why they're on the street. Let's prevent these people from being there. So this kind of seems like they just want more money to put more people into suits to like hit people who are like on the last like thread of their like bad luck. Um, and like I'm not gonna say that this shit doesn't like ruin the sidewalk, ruin the fucking lives of the people around them. This is not something that we should like want in our streets, but this is going about it the wrong way. We're trying to get the consequences of the cause instead of just trying to get rid of the cause. Um, Council members passed several amendments. $5,000, dude. 364 days or a year? And a year. Oh shit, dude. People don't have that. Hold on. Hold on. Um, ooh, caps lock. Okay. So the average income of Seattle is just above 64,000, but this is also including people who. Okay. this is still a pretty big burden. I mean, losing your fucking job, because that this is not just the consequence of um, your time. This isn't just time that they're stealing from you. This isn't like just birthdays. This is your ability to like pick yourself back up. If you have at least a decent job that puts food on your table that keeps you going, this coupled with like paying money because it's and you know if you could just like I'm saying that I don't agree with how they're dealing with this to begin with, but not only am I disagreeing with how they're going about this, but the consequence of people that they're picking up um, will set you back. That's your birthdays. That's your job. That's your family members. Because if you're working in like a household with roommates or a household with like other adults that are you're depending on, not only are you gone but those people are gone too. Because like if if you go, your roommates are out of their apartment unless they find somebody in time. That's yeah. Fuck. Loitering. Fuck loitering. There's no such thing as loitering. You're just existing in the outside. You're not supposed to like. It shouldn't be law that you should just stay inside all the time unless you're like in a designated park or if you're going from point A to point B. And like I don't really agree that like prostitution should be on the side of the street. I feel like there are places there are ways to just not be on the side of the road, like asking to do stuff. And I'm not saying that the people who do are bad people. I'm just saying that yeah, fucking meet me halfway. Don't do it on the side of the road. And yeah, it always goes down to um, them doing um, physical consequences against fucking groups of people that can't defend themselves. Black, brown, indigenous people. They you know what when you see like at nighttime, you will see the racial discrepancy even out between law enforcement pulling people over. During daytime, black people get pulled over more than white people, and then at nighttime, it goes back to evening out. And having concerns like if a reporter was just new here and this is their first day, it would not be unreasonable for someone to just be concerned about this going after people who are just more and more vulnerable. This is punching down from the police. Yeah. So here's the thing. Oh, fuck. Down over here. I'm saying. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to. So she's. This is a good thing. Um, as somebody who is not necessarily fond of police, having somebody there to protect people from other people is a good thing. This is a good thing to want, and you can. Uh, hold on. So, with the police chief trying to lower standards for police entry here, there's she's saying things that have a lot of valid points. So we don't have the luxury of being picky. There are a lot of times when trying to achieve goals, you don't have a quantity of people going in and volunteering, because when you don't become a cop through being drafted. People have to apply, and having only hypothetically like 10 applicants, and you got to weed out seven of them, wanting to lower it to weeding out only six to get enough people to keep people on. But like, the thing is they're not, it doesn't feel like there's problem solving other than just putting more muscle behind like what they were doing beforehand. um, that just made me laugh. I like how everyone just knows that Jill Stein uh, is garbage. I love it. But this is a valid point. There are a lot of people who are good people that just get caught up in any kind of hypothetical situation where they just, I don't want people to have their lives ruined at 15 because of something stupid. Also, polygraphs aren't real. That's kind of funny. But the validity of having good people with a spot on their record, being forgiven to, do something that isn't necessarily rocket science. Being a cop is not hard. Um, but the thing is that um, you don't want people in power who have dispositions that are more than just like one mistake. And from what I'm seeing so far, um, she's not fixing things. So I don't know. There was a point that I read earlier, right here. So the interviewer, Miss Barrett, or Mrs. I'm sorry. I don't know. They asked the chief um, that she followed up on the chief's initial statement of reducing misogyny from the workplace. So this makes me believe that there was a lot of misogyny in the past. I don't know if it was one or more instances, but we'll look at that at another time. Um, but like, she was vague about her plans. Like, she didn't even say something one way or another large enough for her to just say, yeah, she's going to do something or she's not going to do something. It just seems like she just dodged the question, which makes me believe that she's not going to follow through on that. So if she's not going to follow through on old behavior that was at least um, like, she initiated the comment that she wants to kind of de-escalate the sexism or the misogyny of the workplace, and then having a follow-up question to be like, okay, do you have plans for it? And then her gonna go, hold on, um, maybe I'll tell you later. It doesn't make me feel like she's solving any systemic issues before hiring on new people. Uh, um, so that doesn't feel great. Kind of going back here. Yeah, just more recruitment, and like, ads don't make me feel like that's the best place to put money. Um, no one reads ads anymore. Oh fuck. Featuring cartoon versions. Invade. I don't like action movie advertisements. That just makes me feel kind of yucky. Because we should be trying to hire people who want to make things better and not people who want to be like the next John Wick. Um, yeah, I like this one. I like this one. Having the guy that, like, holy shit, last Thanksgiving I was dying and Officer So and so saved my life is exactly the kind of ad that I want. That's the kind of like interaction I want my police and like public to have, not like, I don't know, fucking Action Sam. Oh, $2.6 million. Goodness. I guess it is a marketing campaign, but almost $3 million is a lot of money. Um, Hold on, this feels like something worth jotting down. Uh, Hold on. Okay, this is August 5. It is cold, so sorry about my hands. Cool. Actually, I'll just leave this here. Mm. Alrighty, thank you. So you struggle to recruit officers, don't fit the stereotype. Okay, so they just have like a big problem with like just white males coming in. Not that white males are coming into the SPD, but only them. Like no one else is applying. Excuse me. Um, okay. Okay, so not only was it the 2.6, or is this what the 2.6 is? It's just over like 800,000 over a certain amount of time, or mid-year supplemental budget. I don't know if that is the same thing as earlier. Um, hmm. So one thing that I wanted to look at what the crime heat map of Seattle was. Okay. So I got it off of this Seattle crime map. Um, okay, so we have a lot of property crime, theft, occasional assaults. So this is saying that assaults are not common. So this does seem like a lot of theft and drug abuse. Moderately safe with theft, burglaries, and assaults. Occasional violent instances. So it seems like the standard crime is, taking other stuff or doing drugs. They do say that like violence is semi uncommon, but I'm not really sure what that percentage is. Um, Damn. Property crime, drug related offenses, and occasional violence. Um, Thank you. Why not? Whatever, dude. Um, okay, so with a lot of the crimes that was mentioned, a lot of that gets. It's not really something that the cops prevent from happening. They typically just respond to it after it does happen. So I'm not really sure what hiring a lot of people will do to solve that. We just. And are they saying that, like, remote work is hurting? Because people just don't want to, like, work on their feet or whatever? Okay. He does have a point. If you're in Seattle, don't buy from Walmart. Buy from some fuck off store and be pretentious. What that'll do is when you spend money on stores that aren't like those big like Target chains, is when that money goes to Target, it gets counted up and it gets shipped out. When you buy local, that money stays local, at least for a little bit longer. Even if that person uses that money to buy gasoline to put in their car, and then that money goes to Exxon or whatever, you'll at least have that money stay in that ecosystem for a little bit longer. Um, did not cite any data or examples. Okay. Damn. I love when I love when people just flat out just call them out. Okay. Can't provide the most complete highest quality of services. Okay. Um. Oh. Oh, hold on. So that was August 5. Um, so that was August 05 blah, 2024. And who's the author? Service by social. Uh, huh. I don't know if you saw who it was. I try and write down the author's name. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much more time on it. Okay. Um, I tried. Okay, we're gonna move on. Seattle's Community Police Commission. A key part of the police academy system is in trouble. Um, okay, so her son was killed. Oh, shit. So the CPD, which is supposed to represent the community views. Okay. Oh, hey, Erica. Nice to meet you again. Uh, in late April, as the Seattle Council considered a contract with the Seattle Police Officers Guild that would give all the police officers a 24%. 24. Okay, what is this? So, August 5? So, this is just a couple months ago. Um, sure. Okay, so AI overview, you say 70, almost 71, roughly 34. Uh, this is not consistent. So Indeed says about 87 to 170, and then 41 to 158. So um, I'm going to. Fuck, dude. 24%? 24% of 70. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Um, well, the median is 24 does seem a little high. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Okay, so does she say? Police commission. That's not what I was looking at. Ugh. It is hard. It is hard to try and justify 24% when they're already working with, like, what was it, 30, roughly $34 an hour. $34 an hour, I know, is not like a lot in the big scheme of things when, there's like mega mogul people making like $100,000 an hour, but like that's coming out of the people that aren't necessarily having a good time with them. Why are you going to increase like the number of people on and increase the budget? Ugh, fuck, dude. There's a lot of tax money just going towards salary for a job that, like, a lot of people don't seem to be happy about. Um, Hold on. What was our start date? So she started in 2012. No, no, no. That was to the thing. Push. So the reason I'm trying to look up the start date, so she assumed office in May 30. So while a lot of what's going on isn't necessarily her direct involvement, like I don't really see her being different than what was happening before. I mean, she dodged like the one question about improving the misogyny of the workplace. The Office of Police Accountability will investigate police misconduct claims in the officer. Okay, so only they're independent from the city. I don't really like. Well, I'll. What I will say is I do like it when things are independent, when accountability or the people who do audit the government are separate entities from the government itself. It removes the desire to help your own people. Okay. Um, they were also intended to forge. Which describe among first. There's a lot of fluff information here. Um, the CPC is a good idea in theory, but the CPC does not have power to change things. Okay, so the people who audit are not necessarily that influential. Either they have no power or they don't really have a lot of weight to throw that power around. Um, and they don't have. They don't have a really good leadership base, so that's not necessarily my favorite. Policy director, where research kind of saddle, but only the entire CC. Okay, so the person who is in charge is condescending, indecisive, and controlling. Ooh, boy. Being controlling and indecisive is not a good combo. And people who are condescending, uh, that comes from a deep level of insecurity, so that doesn't really make me feel good. Um, use of flurry. Oh no! Oh no! So the co-chairs used a flurry of procedural objections to delay presentation, telling the group that commissioned bylaws required them to attend the. Ooh no! So they're dodging shit. Years, Walden has become a vocal advocate for more police presence in communities of color. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, lack of leadership. Damn, lack of leadership yet again. I know it's the same article, but goodness. Vacuum of accountability. This is a scathing article. It's going to take action on the issues with LSS management. The staffers are saying that, not just random people, but just staffers. So the people who are working in these organizations are not happy with their fucking bosses whatsoever. Man, this is not looking good. This is not looking good for you so far. This is my first impression of you, Chief. Meet with spoke concerns with Ellis. Is that Herbold? Okay. This is Ellis and co-chair Joel. So this is Ellis. Um, so she's the person that has been indecisive and condescending and dodging all accountability. So that's not excellent. And I wonder who Joel Merkel is. I've Merkel, other co-chair. Uh, you're constantly told that we weren't doing work. Okay. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to remember this name from now on. Callie Ellis. I think that is something. Oh, new blank document. Um, Eventually, I think Callie Ellis will be the next person that we look into. Um, but I think we need to go back to Sue. Um, okay, so she's just trying to get more butts and seats when it comes to um, the Seattle PD. Um, so one thing that I do like is I do like that she's got a large background on training, because if you remember previously she spent that like what 9 years as a instructor, but I'm concerned that she's teaching them the wrong stuff. Currently, it's too challenging. Fuck off, too challenging. I think when it comes to the police tests, if you find people who you feel like their character is a good fit for the police department, you can always train them to the point where they're fit for the position. You can always find people who you want to have the power and the protections of a a community representative, and you can build classes. You can use your 9 years to just keep them, just incubate them. They don't have to go through like a rigid course. What you should be doing is having people go to whatever school, and because I know like there's a certain like course, and there's like a certain like window like boot camp, but unlike a government, um, unlike boot camp, these police officers don't need to go into uniform ASAP. You can keep them to learn in classrooms, you know, as long as needed until they're perfect, and then you put them in a uniform and go outside. Um, and if we're uh, hold on, okay, that's totally fine. Well, that's funny. Okay, so you don't need to. I was kind of hoping for um, Washington. Okay, so about 720 hours. Um, what was that 724? 720. Um, so 18 weeks. Yeah. Okay, so about 18 weeks is all we're getting for training. Uh, that's not a lot of time. That's not a lot of class time. 18 weeks is nothing. That's that's not even 4 months. What the fuck? Wait, hold on. Is she upset that there's like okay, I think this is the only thing that I've agreed on her with. Fuck the polygraph. You should never trust a polygraph. Um, its current standards like reckless driving. I'm okay with reckless drivers not getting a badge. Um, this is a subjective thing. I have no like axiomatic drive to elaborate. I just think people who drive like shitheads shouldn't get a badge. Um, future behavior, sit around. Okay, this is kind of a non-answer, but kind of like good enough. Okay, so with this example, um, two things. I do like the fact that, like, as times change, we adapt to being more okay with stuff that, like, tattoos are being a disqualifier, I think is silly. If a tattoo specifically is inappropriate, I think that there should be tattoos that disqualify people. Beards too. I'm okay with people wearing beards, but the thing is that those are two physical disqualifiers, and we're talking about up here is behavioral disqualifiers. Um, so that feels like a good answer to a question that wasn't asked. Um, so this is this is October 7. I am. So when it comes to this little, did I get the spelling right? No way, I got the spelling right. Okay, whatever. I am winging my organization here. So as I build this document, I will do things a little bit better. So that was October 7, 2024. Um, all right, so it's been almost an hour, and I think in about 5 minutes I'm going to be wrapping this up. Um, but from the impression that I'm getting from the local government is that they're trying to reduce um, qualifications and standards for police entry. Something that I don't really have positive feelings about. Um, they're sending a lot of their um, really undertrained police officers to areas that do have systemic issues, but they're typically in places of um, color and places where you end up on the last end of. Okay, well at least she fired this guy. Hold on, let me pause that. In case you don't know, this guy.
Yep. Yep. Totally. All right, brother. Well, yep. I'm sure TCIS is, and oh, he's good. He says, well, normally we don't give voluntary statements, and I said, hey, you're going to have to decide if you wanted to give a statement or not. But it does not seem like there's a criminal investigation going on. Otherwise, there would be other. What's that? Yeah. Otherwise, there might be other people arriving. Correct? Yeah. I mean, he's going 50. That's not out of control. That's not reckless for a trained driver. Yeah, lights and sirens. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's some. Initially, he said she was in a crosswalk. There's a witness that says no, she wasn't. But that witness could be different because I don't think she was thrown 40 feet either. I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah. Yeah, just write a check. Just yeah, what? $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Okay, so it seems like he ended that there. Just doing some last checkup on what was going on. Here's the thing. Uh, there are certain positions where if you're wearing a uniform, your job is to shut the fuck up. Um, there are positions of power where it elevates you above a certain level of um, congeniality. Your your behavior is reflective upon yourself and the people who also have your uniform. You're representing more people than yourself. Um, if this was like out of uniform, I wouldn't necessarily change my decision on in like agreeing with him being fired. Um, but there's some jokes that are just kind of more tasteless than others, and I'm kind of glad that this is the situation. So what I learned today was neat. Sue, I guess we'll learn more about her again. And I think Callie Ellis is a good candidate for someone else to look up into. Uh, do me a favor if you watch this long, please hit a like and have a wonderful rest of the evening.